I'm Nancy Norman with Weekly Wisdom. This past week, I had lunch with a friend of mine who's a very successful entrepreneur. She has had a long and thriving business career, and we were talking about what made that career a success. And she said that one of the primary things was that God was always at the center of her thought and mind and her life. She said that as a teenager, she found a Bible verse, and that Bible verse changed her life. That Bible verse became a part of her. The Bible verse was, with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. She said she thought about that and it just made so much sense. With God, all things are possible. Or sometimes we say, there's nothing that is impossible to God. She said she began thinking about that Bible verse and working with it, and finally she came up with an idea. The idea was, if God, with God, all things were possible, she could become a part of that. So the idea was, and the affirmation that she came up with was, there is nothing that God and I together cannot accomplish. There is nothing that God and I together cannot accomplish. Well, using that affirmation, she overcame some of the challenges that were presented to her. Her business grew and prospered. Her personal life flourished, and she became, that personal life became the life that she had dreamed of. Somehow, that thought, that affirmation, there is nothing that God and I together cannot accomplish, gave her confidence, strength, and courage to do the things that she needed to do. You see, life doesn't have to be an uphill struggle based on trial and tribulation. What you want, the universe wants for you. And maybe even wants it more for you than you ever even thought. You're not alone in this world. We've got God, the good, omnipotent, always there for us. There's a law of good that is always at work in our lives. And you know what? We don't have to go it alone. There is a law of good always at work in our lives. God has a plan for you, and God has a plan for me. That plan is to prosper us, to give us hope, and to give us a future. It is said that one with God is a majority. Or another way it's said is, if God is for me, who can be against me? If God is for me, who can be against me? There is nothing that God and I together cannot accomplish. And I want you to know that there is nothing that God and you together cannot accomplish. The universe has ingenious ways and means of taking care of you. Trust it. Trust it. Work with God. With God, there is nothing that you together cannot accomplish. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful week.